Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with the Moons of Madness blind. Now, I'm here in the super duper secret underground facility beneath the main Mars base, and apparently the CEO of Orochi Group himself is here, so let's read his logs. Excavation continue, although progress is hampered by the drilling equipment shorts and droid malfunctions. Control has authorized an increase in the droid presence. Damaged units have been noted, but the continued push has made it necessary to leave these units behind. The current objective is to discover the source of a centralized energy anomaly. Recent incident during infrared mapping reported critical system failure before complete deactivation. Upon attempted recovery, the video feed displayed the droid shattered into pieces, rendered unsalvageable. Distinctive teeth marking, traces of carbon material and saliva. Okay, so apparently there are like predators on Mars that are able to chew through metal. Interesting. Pyramidal marker unresponsive, deterioration readers dating negligible. Potential items are indistinct, poor quality. Analysis of the site inconclusive. Additional assets diverted to Site 9 and excavation operations underway. Site 9 has been upgraded to the highest priority. Initial visual inspection shows an expensive entryway with carvings that suggest a combination of mechanical and hand tooling. The bas-relief murals are carved directly into the natural gneisses and olivine deposits that form the cliff face. Each of the tall columns and pedestals display a detailed frieze featuring repeated phrases in what appears to be a three-dimensional language structure. Badger dispatched to cave-in near the entrance. X-ray reveals several side tunnels and entryways, which should provide passage to deeper areas.
Okay, I think I found what we're looking for.
Copy. We're at the device now.
The network used an algorithm to brute force a solution. The key requires a high-frequency vibration. Tune your biogauge scanner output to 31 kilohertz.
Got it. There we are. And we have an activated Martian artifact. We're in business, Shane.
Nothing here says what the next step is.
Now you got us this far. We'll figure it out from here. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Shane.
Dr. Shane Newehart, elite spy operative, taking care of business.
Scans of the Martian artifact reveal an electromagnetic signature shared between the device and the mechanism with the stone gate. Considering the connection, I accessed remote control and attempted to discover a wireless connection, first through a magnetic pulse and then a more standard sonic frequency. A sustained high-frequency sound at 3.1 kilohertz activates the artifact. As suspected, the artifact was simply a password device as a key to open the door. I composed a simple brute force algorithm to gain entry into the Martian gate. After 12 minutes, the doorway opened. Deactivate security lockdown. Okay. But I am interested to see if the other conversation will also appear here in real time. Nope. I was kind of counting on it. It would be cool and like unexpected. Well, not unexpected. Wait. Why did I end the lockdown again? Was that wise? Was I supposed to do that? Because the cameras were inactive before and they are active now, so I'm not sure if I really helped myself in it anyway. Although, I guess if the lockdown was still in place, I couldn't have escaped this place because the elevators would be, unresponsive.
Nope, I can't move this one. I don't think I have a choice. Just go for it.
That's a bit cheap, to be honest. Like, what's the particular story reason I could move all of the others but not this one? It's like the developers needed me to raise an alarm. Okay, that's a bunch of those androids. Can't climb over this. I walked right into this. Totally my fault. Okay, I'm dead. I couldn't even do anything about it. There were two of them in close proximity. Okay, I think I'm... Oh. Maybe I'm not where I was supposed to be at all. Which is kind of annoying because the game isn't auto-saving. I'm not sure if you noticed, but this game doesn't have a quick save feature. It only has autosaves, which is a really annoying trend in the last couple games I played. And it hasn't autosaved since I entered this location, which is kind of annoying because it ensures that if I die, then, you know, I have to repeat the whole segment. Which way should I go? Supposedly, yeah, this is blocked. Usually how it works in games, you know, you think you have multiple paths and usually they narrow down eventually. If they don't, then that's a hallmark of a really cool game. If it keeps multiple ways to approach each objective consistently. So are those holding cells for prisoners, or are those where the this guy's shoes are covered in blood, which is kind of disconcerting, or are those where the personnel of this base were sleeping? It looks very Spartan, but it could go either way, kind of. I guess one thing that would dictate against this being a prison cell is a lack of any toilet facility. In which case, you know, the prisoners would defecate on the floor, which would generate additional problems with keeping the cell clean. Whereas if this is only a space where the actual researchers live, then obviously they could leave at any moment to actually go to the bathroom themselves. Yeah, and it's also corroborated by the fact that there is literally a gym right next door. So I doubt it was a prison then. Although there are gyms at prisons, at least some of them, I guess. Okay, so I can go here, but why? And how is this better than going? Okay, I guess there is no other way, so I guess it's not better or worse. It's just the way I'm supposed to go. What's that? It's kind of similar to one of the artifacts that was, well, artifacts or designs that were written on the pages of the Mad Woman, well, assuming that was hers, in the cave. It had like, it was like an orb with arrows pointing inwards. So I'm not sure if that's related, but that's what it made me think of.
What? Oh my god!
Okay, that was a weird segment, because the monster attacked me for a bit and then it retreated without killing me, and I couldn't open the door before, but I can now, which, frick, I almost stared at myself, which, as I said, is kind of weird, I feel like. Okay, I thought I was moving away from it, but clearly not. Fortunately, the game did save.
What? Oh my god!
I'm not sure why it ran away in the first place. But I guess it did so for dramatic reasons. Again, the symbol of the twin circles is some kind of a forest, and the tree is kind of reminiscent of the tree design with like the chemical structure on top. There is an eye, some tentacles, hand outstretched. Can't really interact with those monitors, but it surely is kind of creepy. And I guess, because this chair has like restraints on it, so I guess they sat somebody down here and it somehow interfaced, like it has something to do with the monitors. Maybe they were indoctrinating them or something. Top secret. Okay. I can't walk over the goo because I'll die. This computer is broken. Okay. Again, can't step on the goo. Prick. Projection room? We bring you the horizon. Chandra, again, the CEO.
Mom was approached by Orochi. They interrogated her. What else are they hiding in this Project Icarus? Did they find her research? Did they find her? I need to know.
I don't know, man, but I sure as hell wouldn't stick around long enough to find out.
What? What? Like, that whole exchange was weird. First of all, it's weird it's kinda weird for the protagonist to be overly concerned about his mother, who has disappeared dozens of years ago when he was still a kid, while he's in the middle of uncovering a conspiracy about aliens on Mars, ancient gods, and whatever. But okay, I can buy that. Like, I would, if my mother disappeared when I was a kid, surely I wouldn't get over it that easily. So okay, I buy that. But I don't buy his colleague's response. Like, that was awfully, like, rude and kind of callous. Like, if I heard that my friend found news about his mother that disappeared years ago, then I would be a lot more supportive about him learning more, and a lot more, I don't know, excited is maybe not the best word to use, but a lot more, like, engaged with the idea. Request for information. Newehart Cynthia. Apologies, father. The Icarus personnel responsible for the previous email have been relieved. We welcome you to visit Icarus and are happy to provide all information. It is not our place to question your intuition. Your clearance has been updated to access the Icarus level on Trailblazer Alpha base via the elevator. It will not happen again. Semper Servos Control. Semper Servos means always in service, something like that. Always in servitude. Semper is always in Latin, and servus is well, actually, it might be. I think it's a noun, much as lupus would be. I've forgotten most of my Latin from high school, but if so, then semper servus would mean forever your servant, or something like that. I will personally, and this is the message they were responding to, I will personally make that assessment, and I will personally make an assessment as to the continued worth of the Icarus project upon visitation in 2 days' time. Perhaps then you can illuminate me on your position. Without Cynthia Newhart's advances in quantum mathematics, Orochi Group and Icarus would experience a development setback of 10 years. Our interrogation process with Dr. Newehart requires re-evaluation due to recent events. I appreciate your assistance in that matter. Project Icarus. Thank you, Mr. Chandra. Here is the information you requested. Raw video feed is available upon request. Server on Argus store our most sensitive information worlds away. That way, you and your business can focus on the things most important. Security, safety, Argus. All eyes on you. Okay, this is, I think, in chronological order. So let's start from here. Cynthia, can't accept this. Your colleagues at the university, they deserve the extra facilities. The Cynthia Newehart Center for Mathematical Studies has a nice ring to it. As I've stated previously, no, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in a sponsorship program, or we are willing to provide whatever you ask. Money, resources, equipment, a safe, happy home for your family. We now get out of my house. Thank you for your time. I'm sure you will see our way soon enough. Where am I? So they straight up kidnapped her. Like, it's interesting that this still happened back at her house. They were proposing her a job, and they still titled it interrogation, and then they straight up kidnapped her. Where am I? Are you comfortable, Dr. Newehart? I am leaving and I am contacting the authorities. You can't keep me detained here. Orochi has expressed a deep interest in your research. Each time you publish a new novel, you expose your knowledge to even a wider audience. This recklessness is unfortunate. Some questions should never have answers. Where did you find these theories? How do you know about the dimensional rift? I am a professor of quantum mathematics. Did you find an artifact? A tome? A conduit to Agartha? What are you hiding from us? I don't know what you're talking about. I have nothing. You can't refuse us, Cynthia. Neighbors are noticing. It's the work, we understand. But consider, a mother with a dangerously erratic behavior, dissociative episodes, auditory hallucinations, isolation, What? We would hate to report something that would get your son taken away. Fuck you. Now, Dr. Newehart. We had some time to think now. You've had some time to think now. I trust you've considered, Agent Chandler. How does she know my name? Dennis Chandler. Your favorite color is blue. You have a wife named Delilah and a daughter named Hazel. Hazel had a nasty fall today. You'll learn soon. The bones will mend, but not always. Listen, you bitch, I'll... something. Sounds of straining, choking. I know an equation, Dennis. I wrote it on your shadow with my tongue. You will not visit me again. Gasps and choking. Do you understand, Dennis? If I find you or the Orochi following my family, I will do things to your wife and daughter that will make you sweat blood. Sobbing. Now open the door. Okay, this is kind of unexpected. I wasn't... It seems she straight up knows, like, magic or something. Like, not only did she have a premonition about his exact details of his family life, including, by the way, presumably events which he didn't know have happened yet, but apparently she, like, choked him using the language of the old ones or something, because she said something in this weird language, and then there are sounds of straining and choking. So yeah, that's pretty actually horrifying and weird. Like, I wonder how I would feel if, well, even disregarding, the magic being real part, because obviously that's a pretty big thing to just accept like that. But if we assumed it is, like, if we assumed that I was already sort of open to the idea of the supernatural, I wonder how I would feel if I pretty much discovered that my mother is a witch, like, that she can do actual magic that hurts people. That's kind of weird. I don't think I would be entirely comfortable with that. But then again, it is self-defense, kind of. They did kidnap her, and she didn't kill him, she just threatened him. Anyway, pretty weird. Lights have gone out. This is the other door. From the beginning, this is the elevator again. I'm going to come out the same place I was.
Shane, the gate is opening. Get over here ASAP. You have to see this.
Although presumably I can now go to different thingamajigs. Like, presumably I need to go to Icarus, but I want to check the others just to be sure. Yeah. So that's even further down.
I'll meet you there, but there's something I have to find out first.
You're all alone, little one. Sometimes I feel alone, too. We're both alone here.
Wait a second. So maybe it is my mother, the woman. Because it has been established that, one, she had the premonition. She basically has foreseen this whole expedition. She knew that there was something on Mars. She was already well versed in the occult because she had this occult book of ancient knowledge and whatever. She knows actual magic, which she can use to deter people from hurting her by hurting them. And she was a specialist in quantum mechanics, so presumably she would also know about like space travel and whatever. And this woman, this specter, this person, was connected with the hallucination / nightmare at the beginning with the cake, with the birthday cake, which seems to harken back to the memory of the protagonist from his childhood, because after all, his mother disappeared on his birthday. So that's something to keep in mind. Rocks. Is that sunlight? Not sure.
They hide like rats under the floorboards. Stick their tendrils where they cannot. I have seen where they root, slither like snakes amongst the leaves.
What did I do, if anything? I don't know. Can't interact with anything here, although there's a bloody handprint over here, which is never a good sign. Some kind of a decontamination chamber. More samples of minerals and whatnot, but also like a figurine, which I think they mentioned as being one of the artifacts, right? They recovered from the site. Icarus Complex.
My God. It's completely taken over.
Filth! Seething tendrils of a hive, ever expanding. Fools! They cannot be contained.
Look for a command center. Okay, I shouldn't approach that. So how do I cross? If I can't step on that... Well, first of all I need to wait a bit for him to calm down, because otherwise when I step... Well, I guess I can just run through. If I'm quick, he shouldn't die outright. Yeah. Anything I can interact with here? Okay, I have no idea what this is. Although I've been hurt by this barbed tentacle here. Doesn't look like I can interact with any of those computers. More rocks. I guess they are kind of similar to ones from which the orbs are hewn. They are glowing and weird. Chemical formulas and equations. And again with the danger sensor. I'm not sure what a danger sensor, like, I understand the words, but I'm not sure how it would work. Like, how would it judge danger? What does it mean, a danger sensor? Like, I understand what a fire alarm is. It checks for the presence of flames, but how do you construct a machine that's so general? Like, what does it mean to be a danger sensor? I don't get that. Okay, as Chandra, so...
Jesus. Orochi has leverage on everyone.
We have obtained the files you requested and placed them onto this console for review. The files include detailed avenues of leverage against the Invictus crew. If there is a need to put into place additional surveillance measures, we are prepared to do so. We wish your visit a pleasant one. Semper Severus. Volkova Inna. At age 27, Inna Volkova was directly involved in the Avaria of Krychwie, which gained significance internationally as the incident at Krychów. For several years, she had worked at a decommissioned military airbase a few miles outside of Krychów, Belarus. Thousands in the small city were killed by an explosion at the base. An explosion meant to cover up a horrific containment breach of an alien substance being used in her research. The high-profile trial uncovered several classified experiments attributed to Volkova, with high-ranking officials within the government denying knowledge of her research. Before a verdict could be delivered, Volkova fled Belarus and claimed asylum at the Russian Federation Embassy in Tokyo. Stationed at the embassy, exiled in extradition, Inna was unable to continue her research. We offered her the opportunity to work without constraints. She accepted she accepted under the terms of the strictest NDA and forced return to Belarus upon disclosure. While her ethical integrity is questionable, her skill is undeniable. Recommend vigilant surveillance and determination of trust upon results. Newehart Shane, so there's info on me as well. Minor childhood trauma documented by a family psychiatrist. Fear of abandonment. Fear of abandonment. Mild social anxiety. Graduated from Brown, PhD Miskatonic, Mechanical Engineering. Of a peculiar note, created a practical equation to explain the theoretical underpinnings of young Melis and the mass gap in his sophomore year. The apocryphal claim is that it was made in a single weekend, otherwise unremarkable. Dr. Newehart is key in our understanding of Cynthia Newehart's studies and possibly whereabouts. Recommended continued surveillance of home and office, potential asset for leverage if Newehart ever emerges from isolation. Recommended hiring at a local Manticore office, engineering position, accept all salary requirements. Push for more information on Cynthia Newehart. So, interesting. So they basically hired me not because I'm good at anything, like I'm pretty bland judging from this, but they hired me specifically because they wanted to find my mother and also use me to blackmail her if they ever find me. I mean find her. So that's interesting. Wilcox Josephine. First Lieutenant Josephine Wilcox, Special Forces, Distinguished Service Cross, received 2052. Court-martial determination, dishonorable discharge, record commuted, evidence expunged. Resigned her post, retaining her exemplary record and citing personal reasons for her exit. As per our contract, Wilcox began employment at our California-based Manticore facility under the strictest NDA. Record of discharge. Yemen. Friendly fire incident reported. 6 undercover agents killed during a strategic raid of a suspected uranium smuggling operation. Wilcox-led team suffered 0 casualties. Facility neutralized. Alpha Camp, Yemen. Inciting incident of Commander Wilcox court-martial proceedings. Multiple witnesses. After brief altercation, Josephine Wilcox discharged a pistol at a range of less than 1 meter, causing a perforating wound into the skull of the commanding officer, Major Corey Houston. Wilcox turned and fired a second and third gunshot, which entered the chest and shoulder of Captain Alan Sheffield. Before team members could advance and pull Wilcox away, another 2 shots were fired, critically wounding Captain Jaden Allen in the thigh and groin. Final shots were discharged into the ceiling as the officers on the side wrestled her firearm away and detained her. Major Houston and Captain Sheffield died immediately. Captain Jaden died in transit to medical facilities. Video evidence of the incident is restrained at the at control. Her squad defended her actions, echoing the sentiment that the officers in question knowingly caused a friendly fire scenario through mismanagement. Commander Wilcox will receive no punitive action for these events so long as we exert our influence. What? I don't understand that? Like, is she reasoning that she fired on them because they fired on the others before? Like, she, if this is true, then she killed like 3 people. I don't think this is how you're supposed to do it. Like, if you're a soldier, you are authorized to refuse, at least in some militaries. I'm not sure if it works like this in the American military, but I think you are like, you can refuse an order on like moral grounds, and then you are tried for it, and they check if you had the right to do that. Like, if they court-martial you for disobeying the orders, but if they find out that you were justified, then you might not receive any punishment. But I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to, like, even if your commanding officer does something you disagree with, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to kill him. Like, I don't understand this incident, but then again, most or some of it might not be true. Huh. Well, what about Declan? Declan Delapour, Master's Mechanical Engineering, Minor Linguistics, California Institute of Technology. Incident report: trafficking in heroin, possession of controlled substance, involuntary manslaughter. 5 years. Declan Delapour has a history of substance abuse, having self-admitted to rehabilitation centers twice. His court sentence closely coincides with divorce proceedings. On November 13th, Delapour was admitted to a mental health facility for evaluation after an attempted suicide. Orochi recruitment has confirmed that Delapour has remained clean for over 12 years as of January, during which time he completed his degree with honors. He has experienced significant difficulties upon graduation due to his incarceration, and Orochi's offer of employment has been contingent on his willingness to maintain secrecy. Delapour is a highly motivated individual, and Orochi has made arrangements to erase records of his dark past.
Oh, Lucas, what the fuck?
Lucas Van Buren, several incident, final restraining order, Mara Richardson, temporary restraining order, Tia Anders, final restraining orders, Abigail White, offense violation of restraining order, sentence 30 days of psychiatric evaluation. So is he like a rapist or like a stalker? Van Buren's sociopathic tendencies were well documented during youth therapy. Lucas displays difficulty reading emotions and a lack of empathy for others in social settings. It notes that he was admitted to therapy after his parents discovered him performing a vivisection on the family cat. Oh, wow. That's okay. So he's not he might be a rapist as well, but he's clearly, a psychopath. That's actually one of the telling signs of like a developing of an antisocial personality disorder, is that when you're a kid, you frequently torment animals and stuff. But a vivisection is, wow, that's gnarly. Like, it's one thing to kill an animal, but it's another to, you know, cut it up while it's alive, to specifically to observe, you know, how the insides of it are working. Man, that's gruesome. Van Buren's contributions to the field of philology are vast. His dedication helped trace the evolution of the Central American language to its origination point. More recently, he helped translate Orochi's newly discovered ancient texts and star maps. Orochi has maintained surveillance evidence of Van Buren's activities during the disappearances of Abigail White and Tia Sanders. The video shows Lucas violently kidnapping and assaulting the women in his home, choking them until they suffocate. Oh, so he's a serial killer as well. And then mutilating the bodies and disposing of all evidence. The chances of a violent altercation are slim and well within acceptable risk, and Van Buren has seen the recordings. He will accept any assignment given with no question. He is our most leverageable asset. Actually, why are the chances of a violent altercation slim? Even if he only attacks women, there are a couple of women on this team, so I'm not sure why they are so certain of that. But it's still pretty gnarly. Although, as I said once already, I also find it hilarious that each of the other ones is like has a dark past and is accomplished in their own field, and the protagonist is like this unremarkable everyman whose only value to Orochi is that they want to get his mother. A figurine of a Cthulhu-esque humanoid. Well, I guess he's not really Cthulhu-esque. Cthulhu usually, first of all, is larger. He sometimes has wings. What I meant is basically that this human has like a writhing mass of tentacles for a face, which is a pretty Lovecraftian thing to have. If anything, this is more Cthulhu-esque, because it's like a cephalopod head with hands and also with wings on the back. Okay. What else is here? More rocks, not particularly fascinating. Microscopes. More of those androids. Can I cross that without it killing me? Yep. I guess at least if I'm quick enough. What's that? Is it like a generator or something?
What is that?
Well, no doubt I will find out soon enough.
What is that?
Wait, is it like a mutated child? It very clearly has human legs. That's pretty gnarly. The dimensions would indicate a child with like an overgrown mutated head. And this looks like a larva of some sort, like kind of like a, I don't know, face hugger, although it's kind of reversed, like it's hugging its own face, because you know the tentacles are wrapping around the rest of its quote-unquote body or whatever. Like it's like a little Cthulhu, a little Cthulhu shrimp. That's what it looks like to me. Incidentally, there's actually a cartoon for on YouTube called Little Cthulhu, and it's quite cute. I will post the link in the description if I don't forget. I just remember that because of the name. Oh, interesting how you couldn't see those specimens at first if you had your flashlight off. Well, that looks pretty gnarly as well. And there's like dozens of them in different sizes and states of development. Okay, that was a remarkably poor jump scare. Like jump scares are generally kind of lazy, but this one was especially like wimpy. Okay, you know what? Actually, this episode has been long enough, so I'm going to pause here and end it for now. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!